Wednesday. One of my favorite scenes ever is from the classic Christmas movie Elf. There is a team of writers that have to put a storyboard together for a new kids' book before Christmas Eve from scratch. They have limited time and zero ideas for a book. So, their solution is to hire a freelance kids' book author, Miles Finch. Things didn't go as planned when Miles Finch showed up and he stormed out of the meeting, but he left behind his journal filled with ideas. The two writers are ecstatic and come to their boss with the journal, which is a gold mine filled with ideas for a storyboard. The boss is thrilled and tells them, "Let's get to work." And instead of getting to work, the first thing the writers do is sit down, as if the problem is solved by simply finding the journal. Their boss yells at them, "Don't just sit down, get up and go. Go put a storyboard together." So they bumble around a bit, then leave his office to get to work. Sometimes we can be like that with our walk with Jesus. Some new exciting revelation comes to us. We hear something that inspires us to follow Jesus more closely, and we are thrilled. Or we hear a testimony from someone's life, and it gives us hope that things could change for us too. Maybe there is a new awareness of the suffering in the world, and deep pain is felt by what we're finding out. Whatever causes it, there is a spark and bright flash of inspiration to make a change, and we are mesmerized by the spark. But instead of doing something with it, we often take a seat and settle for the spark. If we are going to become people of compassion, who see other people as Jesus sees them and who loves them like Jesus calls us to, we have to engage in following Jesus. Becoming people of true compassion won't happen by accident. Finding a gold mine is really exciting, but sitting down in front of the entrance in awe of the gold mine won't magically produce gold coins. When Jesus gave the legendary Sermon on the Mount found in Matthew 5-7, he concluded it by saying, "Everyone who hears these words of mine and puts them into practice is like a wise man who built his house on a rock." Jesus did not say, "Everyone who hears and believes." He said, "Everyone who hears and puts them into practice." Becoming someone who lives with same compassion for people that Jesus has for you means actively following him through the examples he left in the Bible. What is something currently part of your daily life that helps you with following Jesus? What is something new you could start daily to follow Jesus? If you have no idea on any of this stuff but feel the call to follow Jesus daily, which person or people in your life could you ask to help you? Matthew 7:24-27. Therefore, everyone who hears these words of mine and puts them into practice is like a wise man who built his house on a rock. The rain came down, the streams rose, and the winds blew and beat against the house, yet it did not fall, because it had its foundation on the rock. But everyone who hears these words of mine and does not put them into practice is like a foolish man who built his house on sand. The rain came down, the streams rose, and the winds blew and beat against that house, and it fell with a great crash. Philippians 2:12-13. Therefore, my dear friends, as you have always obeyed, not only in my presence, but now much more in my absence, continue to work out your salvation with fear and trembling, for it is God who works in you to will and to act in order to fulfill his good purpose. John 15:9 through 11. As the Father has loved me, so have I loved you. Now, remain in my love. If you keep my commands, you will remain in my love, just as I have kept my Father's commands and remain in his love. I have told you this so that my joy may be in you and that your joy may be complete. Share your thoughts below.